Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into NB12 Weekend, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, a prominent pastor decries government's focus on crime. A man killed in a traffic fatality on Eleuthera. How St. John's College is bringing Christmas cheer to Joaquin victims. And as always, we check out this week's cutest kids and pets. I'm Paige McCartney. We've got those stories and more straight ahead on NB12 Weekend. To NB12, with murders at an all-time high and law enforcement and community leaders insisting the problem may get worse before it gets better. Former chairman on the National Advisory Council on Crime, Bishop Simeon Hall, says their work appears to have been useless. Jasmine Brown has his candid comments in this report.
With the murder count reaching record numbers, Hall says there is one word to describe the crime situation this year, and that's hopeless. While the outspoken religious leader has repeatedly blasted the government and called their strategies laughable, he admitted that the work done by the crime committee he chaired between 2007 and 2010 produced embarrassing results.
I'm disappointed that it would appear that our work was in vain. Even to we bragged about how the ankle bracelet was our foremost thought, and that seemed to be now questioned in terms of its usage. And so these things seem to be useless in terms of their implementation.
The council was comprised of 11 persons from a broad cross-section of Bahamian society. Back in 2007, then Minister of National Security Tommy Turnquest said the council was charged with providing input for national crime policies and programs, as well as working with government and stakeholders to bring forward new and practical proposals and approaches for halting and reversing current crime trends in the Bahamas. In a report compiled in 2010, 40 recommendations were outlined to tackle crime. In 2007, when the council was first formed, 78 people were murdered. The count jumped to 94 in 2010. With this year's murder count rising above the 140 mark, Hall says it's clear no one has come up with a viable solution.
And I'm a person of hope. I believe that tomorrow is always better, but it is so difficult to continue to hold on to the light of hope in this ongoing national darkness.
Hall says many are still awaiting the government's most recent announcement on crime, as promised by Prime Minister Perry Christie. But he says based on the government's track record, he isn't sure that will do any good either.
All Mr. Nottage's pronouncements have not stopped them one bit. It looks to me like Mr. Nottage should take cognizance that all what he has said has not put a dent in the crime activity in the Bahamas. I'm not blaming him, but I'm saying, my God, look at what you're saying.
Hall is now asking for all major political parties to come together and form a 10 to 15-year crime plan.
And until Mr. Nottage, until Mr. Christie, until Dr. Minnis, until other groups, non-government agencies can get together in one group and we come up with a 10-year national crime problem that will send fear into the minds of would-be criminals.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Police on Eleuthera are investigating a tragic traffic accident that claimed the life of a man. Reports are that shortly after 3 a.m., the victim was driving a Honda CR-V on Queens Highway, Lower Bogue, Eleuthera, when he collided with a flatbed truck being driven by another man. The victim sustained serious injuries and was pronounced dead on the scene. Officers from the police traffic division on New Providence traveled to the island today. for further investigations. And police are searching for suspects in several armed robberies that occurred in the past 24 hours. In the first incident, police say shortly after 5 yesterday afternoon, a man was riding on a public service bus in the area of Balfour Avenue and Minnie Street when a male passenger, armed with a handgun, attempted to rob him. A struggle ensued, and that led to the suspect dropping the handgun before fleeing on foot. The handgun was turned over to police. Later that evening, shortly before 8 p.m., 3 women were standing in the front of a home located at Dignity Gardens when a man armed with a handgun approached and robbed them of 2 cell phones and cash before fleeing on foot. Then just a few minutes later, a woman was standing in the front of her home located on McKinney Drive when a man armed with a handgun approached her and then robbed her of her handbag that had cash in it. He ran away. Then police say shortly after 9 that same evening, a man was in the front of a home located at Winders Terrace when a man armed with a handgun approached and robbed him of his cell phone before fleeing on foot. And later that same night, just after 10:30, a man was in the front of his residence in Pinewood Gardens when a man armed with a handgun approached him and robbed him of his silver 2008 Honda vehicle before speeding off. And then the final incident occurred early this morning, just after midnight. Police say 2 men in a red Ford Ranger truck armed with a handgun robbed a man outside of his home located at Coral Vista. They stole his 2006 Yamaha motorcycle and sped off. While Prime Minister Perry Christie has vowed to take stiffer measures in addressing the country's worsening crime problem, including increasing police resources and utilizing CCTV, a civic organization is implementing its own initiative it believes will eradicate the menace. The Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas recently launched its Road to Peace anti-crime initiative aimed at tackling crime at a grassroots level. Assistant Governor of the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas, Timothy Ingram, said at a recent press conference that a committee was formed several months ago after it became clear that Bahamians can't sit and wait for a solution for a problem that's decimating the country.
Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas is made up of 9 clubs in the Bahamas, and our 9 clubs have all pledged their support in helping to find meaningful solutions for our country and its crime problem. This is our country, and we do not intend to stand idly by and live in fear. Rotary has a long association with peace initiatives, and indeed one of the 6 areas of focus for Rotary International is peace and conflict resolution. Peace centers have been set up around the world by Rotary, and peacekeepers are given scholarship to attend these centers for 3 months or 12 months to receive specialized training in peace and conflict resolution. We intend to leverage this and other resources to assist organizations which may find it useful.
Rotary International has played a huge role in nearly eradicating polio from the world. There are less than 0.01% cases worldwide today. Well, local Rotarians believe they can apply the same principles they do to eradicating polio worldwide to eradicating the local crime problem. Road to Peace Committee co-chair Stan Charlton explains how.
Peace and conflict prevention resolution is one of the 6 areas of focus for Rotary International, which gives us the benefits locally in the Bahamas of the following. 1, the ability to secure Rotary Global grants to help fund our initiatives. 2, to access to resources of similar peace and conflict resolution initiatives being used in other jurisdictions. And 3, the ability to collaborate with professionals in peace and conflict resolution forums to assist us with ideas and programs for our initiative. The mission of the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas Road to Peace program is to actively develop social-based strategies and proactive interventions to foster change and a reduction in crime and violence by providing mechanisms to combat the increasing threats of crime against community.
Well, in other news, former F&M Senator Dr. Dwayne Sands is giving a harsh assessment of the Christie administration's performance over the past year. He insists that over the past 12 months, the government has not only failed to fulfill its promises, it's also managed to simultaneously be mired in scandal.
I believe that this will be the last we see of Perry Christie as Prime Minister in the Bahamas. But I don't take anything for granted. And I think as an opposition, we have to work tirelessly, look the Bahamian public in the eye, talk to them about honesty in government, integrity, and transparency.
Sands further accused government of lacking focus and vision for the country. He said it's evident by government's failure to meet self-imposed deadlines for matters of policy such as freedom of information legislation, energy reform, mortgage relief, and environmental legislation.
The Prime Minister and his cabinet have been talking about, oh, you know, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It is no different than the Freedom of Information Act. That's coming. Transition to university status is coming. Bahamas sale is coming. I mean, you know, we're getting tired. You know, what have you done lately? And where's the proof? Because, Mr. Prime Minister, we're tired of hearing, you know, it's coming. In the last term, they talked about billions of dollars of investments that were going to be coming up out of the ground and never materialized.
Sands added that he believes the Prime Minister is more concerned about his own legacy than being an effective manager